A man of African descent, seated in a wheelchair, works on the engine of a woman's stranded vehicle. The following day, a helicopter touches down near his trailer. A situation has arisen. The workshop manager gestured towards the letter resting on the table. Almeida Motors has decided to terminate the contract. It has been said that you, Presencia, are causing the elite clientele to drift away. Marcus Johnson stood still, experiencing the all-too-familiar heat in his stomach that always accompanied him in moments like this. At 42, he stood out as perhaps the finest mechanical engineer in the county, yet he found himself dismissed from a lackluster workshop for being perceived as too intimidating to white clients. "I comprehend," he responded with a tranquility that eluded him. With 23 years of experience, 3 patents in fuel efficiency systems, and a master's degree in automotive engineering, it's disheartening to see such achievements reduced to a mere stereotype. "When is the right time for me to go?" "Today." The manager averted his gaze, unable to meet him eye to eye, accompanied by a month's worth of compensation. Exceedingly just. After 90 minutes, Marcus returned to his caravan in Sunset Valley Park, with the tools carefully arranged in the back seat of his 1998 Dodge. Zoe, his 16-year-old daughter, was still attending school. At least she wouldn't have to witness the look of defeat on her face right away. Perched on the cold metal caravan seats, Marcus fixed his gaze on the envelope containing his final payment. Sufficient for 2 additional months of rent, perhaps 3 if they managed every cent carefully. Following that, there was nothing more. "It's simply not in the cards," he whispered under his breath. This time, no. The persistent sputter of an engine fighting to maintain its rhythm broke through his contemplation. A sleek champagne-colored Range Rover glided toward the dusty road of the caravan park, distinctly contrasting with the humble homes that surrounded it. The vehicle came to a sudden halt just a few meters away from Marcus, releasing an alarming plume of smoke from under the hood. The driver's door swung open, revealing a 35-year-old woman whose impeccably designed clothing clashed dramatically with her surroundings. She glanced at her cell phone, then shifted her gaze to the car, and ultimately settled her eyes on Marcus. "You work as a mechanic?" she inquired, her tone betraying a barely restrained impatience. Marcus couldn't help but chuckle at the irony. "I work in the field of automotive engineering." He instinctively made adjustments. "That's unfortunate, especially with a meeting coming up in an hour and the car breaking down." She gestured toward the Range Rover, her expression reflecting a deep sense of personal betrayal. "I've reached out to 3 workshops, but the nearest one won't be able to arrive for another 2 hours." Marcus took note of the rising smoke. With a keen eye, he pinpointed the issue in no time. "The cooling system seems to have likely reached a critical temperature. May I have a glance at it?" As she drew near to the vehicle, the name on the side came into view. A Quantum ZX, an exquisite creation from the esteemed Innovitec, known for its electric vehicles and luxury hybrids, a car that represents an investment surpassing 5 years of prior earnings. "Are you truly familiar with operating these models?" The woman regarded him with a quizzical lift of her eyebrows. "It's a sophisticated hybrid prototype." "I'm familiar with the system," Marcus said matter-of-factly, lifting the hood. He failed to disclose that he had a hand in designing components of the initial prototype of this system during his tenure at Synovai Technologies 8 years prior, before being dismissed due to a baseless allegation of intellectual property theft. As he examined the overheated engine, painful recollections flooded his thoughts. Memories of James Synovai, the company's CEO, who had seized his groundbreaking ideas in hybrid systems. They had belittled him and forcibly removed him from the premises, leaving his reputation in tatters due to a carefully crafted web of rumors. Issue with the thermal regulator, identified within moments. The temperature increases as the system shifts from electric to combustion modes. "It's a fundamental issue in the design." The woman appeared truly taken aback. "How do you manage to know so quickly?" "I would have approached it in a different way," she responded, gathering her tools. "I can make a temporary fix and perhaps enhance the performance slightly." In the following hour, Marcus toiled with great care on the system, rearranging sections of the electrical circuit and fine-tuning the thermal regulator with a level of precision that stemmed from profound understanding. and years of expertise. The woman observed him, her curiosity deepening with each passing moment. "It is complete," he finally declared, wiping his hands with a cloth. "It ought to perform more effectively than it did previously. I have successfully enhanced efficiency by 12% through the strategic redirection of heat flow." The woman attempted to ignite the engine of the car. The hybrid engine reacted instantly, delivering a smoother and more stable purr than its predecessor. "It's remarkable," she conceded, with a truly bewildered expression. "What is the amount I need to pay you?" Marcus paused, uncertainty flickering in his mind. He was in dire need of the funds, yet a part of his professional integrity became a barrier to accepting such a fundamental role in a design that he believed he should have contributed to refining. He responded with silence. "I'm currently in a transitional phase in my career." The woman observed him with greater intensity. "I'm Christine, Synovate Operations Director at Synovate Technologies, and you stand out as more than just a mechanic." The name hit Marcus with the force of a sudden blow. The sibling of James Synovate, who is younger. The universe certainly possessed a twisted sense of irony. Marcus Johnson, once an automotive systems engineer, responded with a hint of sarcasm. Christine retrieved a business card from her pocket and handed it to him. "Make sure to reach out to this number tomorrow. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on enhancing our hybrid system." As the Range Rover drifted further, Marcus stood still, the card delicately held between his fingers. 8 years prior, he had vowed never to engage with anything connected to Synovate again. At this moment, the company had truly arrived at his doorstep. What Christine was unaware of, what remained a secret to everyone, was that throughout those 8 years of professional isolation, Marcus had continuously pushed the boundaries of innovation, never once forsaking his research. Concealed in the small nook behind his caravan lay the evidence that James Synovate had merely appropriated a fraction of his ability, and that Marcus Johnson's most significant breakthrough was still waiting to be unveiled. If this tale of unfairness and a surprising chance for atonement has touched your heart, be sure to subscribe to our channel. What follows will reveal how one chance can transform into the most delightful and clever act of retribution ever conceived. Zoe Johnson discovered her father seated at the kitchen table, fixated on a business card. At 16, she had already mastered the art of recognizing the signs of trouble. What transpired? Something happening at work. Marcus shared with her that he had lost his job and that he had encountered Christine Synovate. Zoe's expression turned steely at the sound of the well-known name. Synovate? The organization that appropriated your intellectual property, the identical one. Will you make the call? Marcus paused, uncertainty flickering in his mind. "I have some uncertainty." "Dad," Zoe said with unexpected wisdom, "you always say that opportunities don't come twice." Once Zoe drifted off to sleep, Marcus made his way to the small shed nestled behind the caravan. Under a canvas lay his secret project of the last 8 years, an advanced system for fuel and electricity integration, SISA. Although the system that Synovate had taken enhanced efficiency by 22%, this new prototype achieved an astonishing 58%, marking a groundbreaking advancement. "Perhaps the moment has arrived," he murmured, gently stroking the gleaming surface. The following morning, Marcus dialed the card number. Christine responded without hesitation. "S.R. Johnson, I would be pleased to extend an invitation for a conversation about potential opportunities. It would be beneficial for you today at 14 So." After 4 hours, Marcus pulled up in his weathered Dodge Ram to the gleaming premises of Synovate Technologies. At the reception, inquisitive glances trailed his silhouette, a middle-aged black man, clad in a tattered shirt and holding a battered briefcase. Marcus Johnson arrived to meet Christine Synovate. He informed the receptionist S.R. Christine approached. "Johnson, thank you for being here." As they made their way through the lobby, Marcus glanced at the photographs adorning the wall, James Synovate during significant moments. In a seemingly overlooked group photo, Marcus emerged looking 8 years younger, as a member of the team that contributed to the creation of the hybrid system that established Synovate's fortune. In Christine's office, the dialogue was straightforward. She started, expressing her intrigue about your understanding of our system. "Have you ever had experience in engineering?" At Sinovate Technologies, Marcus responded with a sense of composure. Within the realm of hybrid systems, during the years 2014 through 2016, a fleeting look of surprise crossed his face. Upon examining his computer, he discovered the record. He departed following allegations of appropriating intellectual property. The matter has been resolved with a private settlement. This is the formal documentation. Marcus was confirmed in a neutral tone. S.R. Johnson, we are encountering issues with the fourth-generation system. I suggest a brief consultancy to enhance the design that I initially created. Present to you a chance for professional growth, irrespective of previous narratives. She discreetly handed over a folder containing the terms. The monthly sum proposed exceeded his annual earnings from the workshop. I'll need to ponder that, Marcus responded. Absolutely. In the interim, I would be pleased to present our laboratory. To you. As they made their way, they encountered a door marked with the words, Patent File and Intellectual Property, likely the place housing the documents that had shattered his career. The laboratory itself was quite remarkable. Teams and engineers from the last generation are engaged in the development of cutting-edge prototypes. This is the essence of Sinovate, Christine articulated with pride. A youthful engineer made their way over. Ms. Sinovate, the ongoing tests for the thermal regulator are still indicating failures. This is Dr. Raymond Wong, leading the hybrid team. He presented Christine. Raymond, this is Marcus Johnson, a potential advisor. Understanding sparkled in Wong's gaze. Marcus Johnson, the creator of the original patents for the CYP2000. In that instant, a voice resonated throughout the laboratory. What on earth is he doing here? James Sinovate, the company's CEO, was making rapid progress with intense determination. Christine believed you were in Asia. I'm back, he grunted, his gaze locked onto Marcus. And I discover that I am escorting this thief to our premises. A tense stillness enveloped the laboratory. Marcus stayed unperturbed. Fascinating exploration of language, Mr. Sinovate. As Christine endeavored to elucidate the intricacies of the quantum ZAX repair, James cut in, disrupting her flow. Begone, he commanded, gesturing toward the exit. Recognizing his inability to manage the situation, he forced a smile. S.R. Regrettably, Johnson, we do not have a position available for you at Sinovate Technologies. Security, please escort this individual. As they led him away, Marcus came to a significant realization. Dr. Wong observed him with keen intensity, and amidst the chaos he had subtly tucked a USB memory into his pocket. Once inside the caravan, Marcus plugged the USB drive into his laptop. The communication was straightforward. I'm aware of his actions regarding his patents. I'm not alone in this. May we have a conversation? King Wong. No one in Sinovate could have foreseen that the humiliation would only serve to strengthen Marcus's resolve. Within his cover lay not just a groundbreaking mechanism, but the essence of his assertion and the downfall of the individual who had appropriated not only his concepts but also his very identity as a creator. 3 days following the embarrassing incident at Sinovate Technologies, Marcus located Raymond Wong in a quiet cafeteria on the city's outskirts. The young engineer appeared anxious, frequently glancing behind him. Thank you for coming, Wong said, offering him a larger USB memory drive. This includes all the internal correspondence regarding his 2016 case. James manipulated records, coerced witnesses, and did whatever it took to seize his patents. Marcus swirled the coffee in his cup. What could be his motivation for assisting me? Because he's treating me the same way, Wong replied with a touch of bitterness. My role at the new thermal regulator is slowly being handed over to his nephew. The narrative unfolds once more. Along with the other engineers, everyone is feeling exhausted. Since your departure, 6 skilled engineers have been dismissed in a similar manner. James has crafted a vast domain by appropriating groundbreaking ideas. Inside the caravan, Marcus scrutinized the files. The proof was utterly crushing. Emails, memos, testimonials, each detail carefully recorded, illustrating how James had masterfully arranged his downfall. What was even more startling was a roster of additional engineers, predominantly from minority backgrounds. who had experienced a comparable outcome. Marcus turned to Zoe as they collaborated on the cover, expressing the necessity for someone who grasped the intricacies of the thermal regulator issue. They were unaware that they were granting me direct access to their system. Zoe beamed, her expression illuminated by the glow of the laptop and the pencil she used to craft her code. At this moment, your presence is truly essential. The following morning, an opulent black car came to a halt in front of the caravan. Christine Sinové emerged with a look of tension etched across her features. S.R. Johnson, we must have a conversation. On her small, tattered sofa, Christine experienced a sense of unease. The issue remains unresolved by our engineers. James is seething with anger. A launch event for Quantum ZX is just 3 days away. Failure to address the issue with the thermal regulator could lead to catastrophic consequences. And now he desires my return, Marcus concluded. Christine confessed, he doesn't know I'm here. Indeed, your presence is essential. I am prepared to provide you with double the amount, along with additional future rewards for any solution you put into action. Marcus watched the woman intently and remarked, I'll be away for quite a while. I require complete access to the lab, absence of security and oversight. It's just my daughter and I. Is that your daughter? She's my assistant, he said matter-of-factly. These are my terms. 2 days prior to the highly anticipated launch of Quantum ZX, Marcus and Zoe stepped into the labs of Sinové Technologies, their expressions filled with intrigue. Christine personally guided them, allowing unrestricted access to the system. She informed them that they had a full day to act. The ultimate prototype needs to be prepared for the test scheduled for tomorrow. Father and daughter collaborated with precision, linking the CISA engine they had transported in a unique suitcase to Sinové's diagnostic systems. Raymond Wong slipped in quietly, offering them access codes and technical documentation. What's happening here? Sinové's voice shattered the stillness of the lab as dawn broke on the following day. I clearly stated that this individual was not allowed on the premises. Christine stepped in. That choice was mine, James. We are just a day away from launch, facing a crucial issue that none of our engineers seem able to resolve. With a sense of calm, Marcus declared his resolution as he rose from the workstation. And enhanced, the Quantum ZX boasts an impressive 15% increase in efficiency compared to its predecessor. James gazed at the altered engine, his expression one of disappointment. That can't be done. Indeed, Wong stepped in. The numbers have been confirmed. It's groundbreaking. James's face clearly displayed an inner turmoil. The skepticism clashed with the pressing requirement for a viable product ready for launch. He finally commanded, complete the final tests. Should it prove effective, we will engage in a conversation regarding appropriate remuneration. On the morning of the launch, the main auditorium of Sinové Technologies buzzed with journalists, investors, and industry executives. James Sinové, impeccably dressed in his Italian suit, confidently unveiled the Quantum ZX, heralding it as the pinnacle of hybrid technology innovation for the decade. In a subtle corner of the stage, Marcus and Zoe observed intently as James discussed the technology crafted solely by Sinové. With a flourish, James unveiled a live demonstration showcasing the remarkable efficiency of the Quantum ZX. As the lights dimmed, a massive screen illuminated, revealing the unraveling world of Sinové Technologies. Rather than the anticipated demonstration, internal documents, emails, and memos surfaced, providing undeniable evidence of James Sinové's ongoing fraud against numerous engineers throughout the years. "What is this all about?" James yelled, desperately, attempting to break into the presentation, yet every system that was triggered only led to increasingly damaging disclosures. Marcus made his way silently to the heart of the stage. What you are witnessing is the genuine advancement of Sinové Technologies, a complex mechanism designed to appropriate the intellectual contributions of its own engineers, especially those from racial minority backgrounds. The crowd was thrown into turmoil, reporters scribbling rapidly, investors heading for the exits, and Sinové executives displaying a range of shock and panic. James leaped towards Marcus, yet was halted by the security personnel. "Everything has been ruined," he yelled, completely unhinged. "Absolutely not, James," Marcus responded with a sense of tranquility. "You have brought about your own downfall. I have merely revealed the truth." As they were escorting James away, Christine came forward, her face ashen. "Every detail has been meticulously arranged. The car's repair, the trip to the lab." "It has been 8 long years for justice," Marcus responded. "At long last, it has come." Unbeknownst to the audience in the auditorium, while they were engrossed in the public exhibition show, Marcus had already secured his true victory. Hours earlier, he had quietly documented the updated patents of his Sysia system, reclaiming what had always been rightfully his. James's public downfall marked merely the onset of a profound metamorphosis, poised to reverberate through the very core of the automotive industry. The tempest that ensued after the public exposure of James Inui's deceitful actions was catastrophic. In the days that followed, Inui Technologies' shares fell dramatically by 45%. Investors called for thorough independent inquiries, while the specialized media scrutinized every aspect of the revealed documents. James Inui was removed from his role as CEO by a unanimous vote of the board of directors during an emergency meeting. As he left the company he had founded, carrying a box of personal belongings under the watchful eyes of numerous employees, the once powerful and arrogant figure had vanished, leaving behind only the remnants of an empire constructed on deceit and intellectual theft. In the midst of it all, a helicopter descended onto the community field of Sunset Valley Park, stirring a flurry of excitement among the residents of the caravan park. Christine Sinui, the current CEO of the company, approached Marcus's caravan with a folder of documents in hand, her steps purposeful and assured. "Could you spare a moment?" she inquired, her tone now stripped of the earlier air of superiority. At des. The quaint kitchen table, Christine presented a formal proposal to Marcus. "The board aims to provide restitution to the engineers affected by James's actions. Alongside compensation, we are pleased to extend to you the role of Sustainable Innovation and Development Director." Marcus regarded the documents, a subtle smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "And what if my system is?" Christine confirmed. "Our formal acknowledgement of its intellectual property. Sinuya aims to obtain a license for the technology rather than appropriating it unlawfully, and the other engineers who have experienced similar fortune. Everyone will receive compensation and will have the chance to come back if they choose to do so. A new protocol for the protection of intellectual property is being implemented, overseen by an independent commission." 3 months later, the landscape had transformed beyond recognition. Under Christine's leadership, Sinuye Technologies emerged as a beacon of corporate ethical transformation. James Sinui encountered a series of lawsuits and withdrew from public life, his reputation in tatters and his wealth swiftly dwindling under the burden of legal expenses. Marcus now led a whole department in Sinuye, transforming his division into a model of collaborative innovation. The Sysia system transformed from a clandestine initiative in a makeshift warehouse to the leading edge of sustainable vehicle technology, with its name emblazoned on every patent. The Sunset Valley Park had given way to a contemporary residence on the city's edge, featuring a private laboratory where Marcus and Zoe pursued their collaborative experiments. Raymond Wong, currently his primary collaborator, led a team focused on broadening the uses of Sysia beyond the automotive sector. During a strategic meeting, Christine remarked that the company could have been completely destroyed. "What held you back from doing it?" Marcus pondered the question for a brief moment. "Demolishing is a simple task. Embracing change is the true test." One afternoon, as Marcus and Zoe drove back from a conference where he had taken center stage as the main speaker, they cruised past the workshop of Almeida Motors. In the parking lot, the ex-manager who had let him go was gazing at the new Sinuye concept vehicle that Marcus was behind the wheel of, his expression a blend of recognition and disbelief. "Are you considering a pause?" Zoe inquired, observing the smile on her father's face. Marcus grinned and smoothly picked up speed. "It isn't required. Not all triumphs need to be announced. One must simply embrace them." At the university campus, where Zoe was currently pursuing advanced engineering on a full scholarship, the professors, We're already discussing the Johnson methodology of sustainable design, a professional legacy that remained uniquely hers. In an interview with a prominent technology magazine, the reporter inquired of Marcus how he would respond to comparable injustices within the corporate landscape. True justice transcends revenge. It focuses on realigning the path. He responded, gazing out the office window at the sprawling city below him. In the face of discrimination or the misappropriation of our efforts, the strongest response is not to surrender or react impulsively, but to persist in creating, recording, and developing. Unwavering quality stands as a testament to resilience that cannot be overlooked. At the newly established Johnson Foundation for Minority Innovators, supported by a portion of its funding, Marcus initiated programs aimed at young engineers hailing from marginalized communities, making certain that talents akin to his would not be overlooked due to a scarcity of opportunities or exploitative corporate practices. The most remarkable aspect was that, within a single year, the ethical evolution of Synovite technologies, shaped by his influence, resulted in enhanced innovation and sustainable growth for the company. The years of predatory practices by James were astonishing, revealing that integrity and success can indeed coexist. Have you ever noticed the irony? Father observed Zoe as they participated in the unveiling event for the inaugural fleet of vehicles featuring the CCA system. James thought that appropriating concepts was essential for his success. Ultimately, it was that very mindset that led to his downfall. Marcus sensed it. He attempted to conceal me, unaware that I was destined to grow. The narrative of Marcus Johnson evolved into a pivotal example in business education and a compelling lesson. The true brilliance resides not in the concepts we conceive, but in the steadfastness and honesty with which we uphold them. The individual who previously repaired the vehicle of a corporate leader near his mobile home had turned his embarrassment into a lasting influence that now motivates an entire generation. If this tale of intellect has touched your heart, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more narratives that reveal how at times our darkest hours can spark our most remarkable ascents.